welcome back to the Green Connection. We have an unusual show today. As you know, this is the Green Connection. It's been on for many years, over 20, and it's been dedicated to sustainable living and energy efficiency and respecting the environment. And so today we have a new way, and that is recycling your old cigar boxes. If you don't smoke cigars, there are places that you can pick them up. And what you do with your old guitar box, with your old cigar boxes, is you make a cigar box guitar. And that's what we're going to show you how to do and how it works today. And my guest, who was here last Christmas, if you may remember, she and her friend Paul, and they did some wonderful Christmas music, did a lot of research along with me on the do-it-yourself guitar cigar boxes. And her friend has learned to play them. And we have Roxanne Ramsey, who is a vocalist and has made a lot of CDs, and her friend Paul, who is a guitarist and with a band and plays a lot around town. And we're going to talk about cigar box guitars. Welcome, Roxanne.
Oh,
Welcome.
hi, Rita. How are you doing today? It's good to
This
see you.
was something different, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a real learning experience for us.
But the cigar box guitar is not new, and we have a video on it. We talked, and you started to research, and I did
Yes.
too. 1860 they started, and little kids wanted to play something like a drum, an old box to pound on or something, and someone came up with the idea of making a guitar out of a cigar box. And some of our most famous blues players, their dads showed them how, and they actually grew up and played them into their professional years, in addition to probably some other guitars. They've added the little notch for electronics. So you can do a lot with an electric guitar with a cigar box guitar that you don't really expect. Roxanne, what did you learn in your research?
I learned in my research that you can utilize something that's recycled, like a beautiful cigar box, and that you can make a guitar out of it. And they come in all different sizes. As you can see here on the table, you have one that's kind of square, and this one here has actually rounded edges, which it makes it quite beautiful. You see that? And you have different sizes. I mean, this is beautiful. This looks like a Scottish guitar. And you have one like this that you can
That'd be
actually,
a very small guitar.
a very small guitar. But you can also do other things with cigar boxes. Like on the corner there of that table, you can see that there is a cigar box purse. You can do a lot of things, and you can really go green by making something that somebody else might have just put in the trash. See, you can open this up, and it comes like with little wooden frames in here, and you can just cover them with fabric, and you can add a little mirror and put some binding around it. And this is like an old handle from a cabinet, like in a kitchen, and some old beads. Just put it in through there, and then
Yeah, I think we have a video on the history of the cigar box guitar, which shows some very famous celebrities today using them. ZZ Top, Paul McCartney.
and they're playing with Nirvana.
Yeah, we have that at the end of the show. Paul McCartney playing the cigar box guitar with a Nirvana concert. But let's watch the history of the cigar box guitar.
A folk instrument is an instrument developed among common people that usually doesn't have a known inventor. It can be made from wood, metal, or other material. Cigar box guitars have been a very popular folk instrument for decades. The oldest evidence of cigar box instruments can be found as far back as 1840. The earliest illustration is an etching by artist Edwin Forbes, which shows two Civil War soldiers at a campsite, with one soldier playing a cigar box fiddle. The illustration was copyrighted in 1876. Plans for a cigar box banjo were published by Daniel Carter Beard, co-founder of the Boy Scouts of America, in the 1890 release of Beard's American Boy's Handy Book. The plans showed a step-by-step description for a playable 5-string fretless banjo made from a cigar box. One would expect these early cigar box instruments to be extremely crude and primitive. However, this is not always the case. The maker's personal budget and access to materials often determined the quality. Cigar box guitars and fiddles were also important in the rise of jug bands and blues. Most performers using cigar box guitars and fiddles were black Americans living in poverty. Many could not afford a real instrument. Cigar box guitars, along with washtub basses, jugs, washboards, and harmonicas, were used by black musicians performing blues to entertain. The Great Depression of the 1930s saw a resurgence of homemade musical instruments. Times were hard in the American South, and for entertainment, sitting on the front porch singing away their blues was a popular pastime. Musical instruments were beyond the means of everybody, but an old cigar box, a piece of broom handle, and a couple wires from the screen door created great sound. The cigar box guitar is a folk instrument which has recently made a comeback. Performers enjoy the unique blues sound, which cannot be emulated from another guitar, and the cigar box guitars, ukuleles, and fiddles also attract a lot of attention. They are small, portable, and almost indestructible. For the cigar box guitar builder, the craft allows the woodworker to unleash his creativity and unlimited design and engineering skills.
Well, how do you make a cigar box guitar if you want to do it yourself? I found some instructions, and the parts that you'll need is a cigar box, obviously, which we show, a 3-foot long 1/2 inch piece of hardwood lumber, or you can substitute a broom handle or a nice rustic limb from a tree that you scale down, 3 guitar tuners or machine heads, which you can get at a guitar shop or music shop, a bolt, threaded rod or piece of wooden dowel for the nut, another bolt or piece for the dowel, and 3 guitar strings, 6 screws, round head about a 1/2 inch long, and the cigar box. We have a little video which shows you somebody making a guitar, and we'll also show you, we have the components, how you can get a kit right here in San Antonio and make your own.
How to make a cigar box guitar. This humble homespun guitar is all you need to make sweet music. You will need a 3-foot piece of 1 inch by 2 inch oak, a ruler or straight edge, a pencil, a power drill, a 1/4 inch drill bit, a piece of 1/2 inch by 2 inch wood, a piece of 1 inch by 1 inch wood, epoxy, a clamp, a saw, 3 eye bolts with wing nuts and washers, 3 wood screws, nylon mason twine, 4 1-inch finishing nails, a cigar box, a piezo transducer, a soldering iron and solder, an electric guitar cable, and an amplifier. Optional, a bench or handheld grinder. Step 1. Measure from the top of the oak, which will be the neck, and make a mark horizontally across it with the pencil a 1/2 inch from the top. Make 3 more marks, spaced 1 inch apart, measuring from the first mark. Draw 3 vertical lines the length of the horizontal lines, spaced about 3/8 of an inch apart, starting from the outer edge. Step 2. Mark the spots on the grid to drill the holes where the lines intersect. With the oak piece in front of you horizontally, mark the first spot where the first horizontal line meets the third vertical line away from you. Step 3. Mark another spot directly underneath the first one on the next horizontal line down, and another next to it on the second vertical line. On the third horizontal line down from the top, mark the first and second line intersections, and on the fourth horizontal line, mark the intersection with the first vertical line closest to you. Step 4. Make 3 marks where the strings will be anchored at the top end of the piece of oak. Measure 1 inch up from the bottom and make the first mark a 1/2 inch in from one side. Mark the next 2 spots a 1/2 inch apart to give you 3 centered marks. Drill holes through the spots where you marked using the 1/4 inch drill bit. Step 5. Add the 1/2 inch by 2 inch piece of wood 6 inches from the top. This will function as the bridge. Then add the 1 by 2 piece of wood 1.5 inches from the bottom. This is the nut which lifts the strings off the guitar. Secure both pieces with epoxy. Clamp them down and allow the epoxy to dry. Step 6. Using the saw, cut 3 small equidistant vertical grooves for the strings to sit in across the bridge and nut. Insert one eye bolt into the topmost hole of the neck, the second bolt into the middle hole below, and the last eye bolt into the first hole on the third level. Secure them in the back with the washers and wing nuts. These will serve as the tuning pegs. Although a regular guitar has 6 strings, cigar box guitars often have only 3 or 4 strings. Step 7. Drill pilot holes for the 3 wood screws on the back side of the yoke, about a ½ inch up from the end to hold the strings. Insert the screws. Step 8. Cut a length of twine and double knot it to one of the wood screws at the bottom. Thread it through the hole to the front of the guitar and up through the nut, and then back down the hole at the top to double knot it to the top of the eye bolt. Repeat for the 2 remaining strings. Then turn the bolts to tighten and tune the strings. Cut away any excess twine. Step 9. Place 4 nails horizontally below the bridge underneath the strings at regular intervals to serve as frets. Secure them with rubber bands fastened to either end around the back of the neck. Grind off the sharp ends of the nails using the grinder. Step 10. Glue the cigar box shut and center it underneath the oak neck, just above the string holes at the bottom of the end. Epoxy it on and let it dry thoroughly. Then tune it up and you have a finished acoustic guitar. Step 11. Make your guitar electric by adding a piezo transducer. Tape the round end of the transducer directly underneath the nut and solder the other end to an electric guitar cable. Plug it into your amp and jam. Did you know the Cigar Box Guitar Extravaganza, an annual event begun in 2005 in Huntsville, Alabama, is billed as the largest cigar box guitar concert in the world?
The assembly kit, which Roxanne found through her research, what did that contain?
Well, it came with this little cigar box.
Did it come with the handle already on it?
It sure did, and it came with the strings.
Oh, it came with the string.
Yes, you have to put it all together, and that is the fun part. It also comes with these little rivets that you have to strategically put into the little holes. And then you get the strings and you lace them through the bottom here, as you can see. And that was not too easy for me, but I got some help from Paul, and he put it together, and it comes with a little bolt here, and it's really kind of cute. Sounds good too.
Look, it sounds. Go ahead. Can you play it?
Well, not right now. We have our guitarist that can play it if you want him to come up and...
Yeah, we're going to do that in a few minutes.
Okay.
We have a video in how to play the
Would you
cigar.
like to try it?
I don't play anything. When I was a kid, I took piano lessons. Happy birthday to you.
You're so funny.
If I divide it here at the 12th fret, that's exactly in the middle of the string, and so basically this half of the string vibrates and this also. D, E, careful, F, G. If you are at the 12th fret where there are the 2 dots and this is the same note that you started on, you did something right, or you did 2 mistakes that evened out. Let's talk about what to do with the right hand while playing slide guitar. We already covered a lot of ground for the right hand, but I just want to mention a few things about playing slide guitar and what to do with the right hand. So the first thing is, the next step would be to add certain accents while playing at the medium level and then accenting maybe beat 1. Or playing techniques like hammer on, pull off, slide and bending. Why do you need them? Well, you should try to have all the strings right at the tip of your finger. So actually that you push up with the flash of your finger all the other strings that are below it. So the low D string and the low G string. Because if you don't do this, on another string. So let's go like 1 and 2 and 3 and down again. If we want to play that on the 4 chord, we move up 5 frets. And a little fill, 7, 7, 5, 3, open on the G string. How do you transfer music from other instruments like a regular 6-string guitar or from a band recording or whatever to the 3-string cigar box guitar? Well, you need to know about the art of reducing.
Now that you see somebody that's playing the guitar and is a professional, and by the way, the king of the cigar box guitar is Shane Spiel, and he's in Pennsylvania, and he had a bar and a restaurant that they've turned into a cigar box museum. Paul and Roxanne are going to play and sing with the guitar. I think we're ready to do that now.
Okay.
Alrighty, so Roxanne did the research and I put the strings on it. Seems like what we were able to find out is the cigar box guitars, they were used kind of for blues or country. So we're going to put together, this is an oldie but a goodie from Hank Williams Sr. And I'll kind of do it with a country blues type of feel, a short version. Well, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we can find ourselves a brand new recipe? I got a hot rod Ford and a $2 bill. I know a spot right over the hill. Drink soda pop, the dance is for free. Wanna have fun? Come along with me. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? I'm free and I'm ready, so we can go steady. How's about saving all your time for me? I got a hot rod Ford and a $2 bill. I know a spot right over the hill. Drink soda pop, dancing for free. Wanna have fun? Come along with me. Hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up? How's about cooking something up? How's about cooking something up with me? When the rain comes, they run and hide their head. Might as well be dead. When the rain comes, when the rain comes, when the sun comes, they slip into the shade, drink their lemonade. When the sun shines, when the sun shines, rain, I don't mind. the rain comes, they run and hide their heads. Might as well be dead when the rain comes, when the rain comes. When the sun shines, they slip into the shade, drink their lemonade. When the sun shines, when the sun shines, rain, rain, I don't mind.
Cigar box guitar.
Locally, we have, not locally, well, near locally, in Fredericksburg, there is a gentleman who makes cigar box guitars and sells them at little country fairs. He was at the Folklight Festival. He's at the Queen William Festival. His name is Charlie Rayfield, and I had some pictures of him. Richard Marini did a fantastic art. That's what gave me the whole idea for this show. Richard Marini had the story in the Express News in May, and that's how long I've been working on this show. And I hope you've enjoyed it. And we're going to sign off with Paul McCartney and the Nirvana. And remember to recycle everything, stay green, and have a great week.
Oh yeah.